Now your test is ready to be analyzed. We'll see today all the different steps you will go through during your analysis. There are 4 different steps. The first one is to write your test plan. The second one is to insert your test plan into the Testapic interface. The third one is to analyze your data and associate all the sources. And the fourth one, and the final one, is to finalize your presentation. Let's start with the first step, which is your test plan. There's many objectives within your test plan. The first one is to organize your ideas, then to collect and compile all the users' feedback, and then after all, to have a clear presentation. You have to view this test plan as a book, for example. That means you have the big part here, which will be the chapter, and then you have the subpart. For example, let's take an example around this first step. You have the home page, and you have 4 different subparts. That means that all the different things that you will be able to see, that you will be able to analyze during the test that are concerning the homepage will be placed under this chapter, which is the homepage. For example, you have the first impressions on the homepage, then you have the different opinions on the colors also on the homepage, then you have the different impressions around the content and the organizations still on the homepage, and then after all, you have the loading page that is still concerning the homepage. So those 4 elements will concern the homepage. That's why we put the subparts under this chapter. That will be the same with the result page, with the product page, for example, and then after all, you will have the general feedback at the end. As you may be able to see, you have some legend here. You have, for example, Q1 and V1. Q1 means that this is the first question in the questionnaire, and V1 means that this is the first question in the video. It is in all those subparts that you will be inserting your different sources. That means you will be able to insert your video cuts that you will be taken, or the graphics or the verbatims that will be generated by the user's answers. Now, let's see how you can insert this test plan into the Testapic interface. All your data has now arrived. Now you can click on the video tabs to display all of your videos. So here I am with my 3 videos. I'm gonna go by watching the first one. Here you have this little arrow. I'm clicking on it. This is my first video. You will see many information here. First off, you have instructions that will display again the different instructions that you have put on while creating your test. Then you have the tester info that will give you all the info regarding the tester. Then you have the extracts. For now on, you have no extract available for this video as you didn't start yet to analyze the video. You have all those sort of basic buttons as play, pause, forward to 5 seconds, the sound, speech to text. We'll go through it after that. First off, I'm going to start by taking my first extract. I'm going to play my video. I'm going to press on I to start my extract. And I'm pressing on O to end my extract. You have all the shortcuts here if you want as a reminder. As I did my first extract, as you may have seen, there's a panel that just goes on the right-hand side of the screen. This panel will help you to insert the test plan that we saw just before. I'm going to start by creating my first chapter, as I said. I'm going here on create a new finding. Location, the location is the chapter, as I said, which will be the home page here. So I'm clicking on it. I'm going to number it as 1. Then I'm going to write home page. I'm going to add it as it will be safe. I'm going to put my Valencia neutral. We'll go through it after that, that's all. Then I'm going to put the title of my finding, which is the first impressions. Again, I'm going to number it so that it will be easier for me to range or to sort the different findings regarding of the location. So this is my first impressions. The description will be the finding that I see while watching this video. For example, Paul said that this website seems colorful. It can be an example finding. I'm going to click right on it on create finding. Here am I with my first location and my first finding. Now I'm going to insert all of the test plan so that you will be able to see how it looks. Here I'm not creating another location as I'm still in my home page. So I'm just selecting with the drop-down menu the home page. Balance is still neutral. On that 2, opinions regarding colors. Description, I'm going to put fill in, create finding. Here is my second finding. Then my third one. Now I have my 4 finding regarding the home page. Now I'm going to create a new location as I'm moving from my home page to my results page. Again, create a new finding. Location, I'm going to number it 2. Results pages. Now all of your test plan is inserted into the Testapic interface as you may see right now. Now to begin with your analysis, I'm suggesting you to go here to extract, to delete that fake extract that you did before to add it. Delete. Now you're ready to start your analysis. Now you will begin to analyze your video. On each part that you find interesting, you will be able to make an extract. For example, from here, I'm pressing I again to start my extract, then O to end my extract. Do not forget, as a reminder, you have all the shortcuts here. Now that I've took my extract, I'm able to associate it to a corresponding finding. For example, let's say that this was about the first impressions. I'm going here, associate source of finding. Now it's associated. I can do the same with another one. For example, let's say that this one is really interesting. I'm pressing I, I'm pressing O. I have my second finding, my second source. I'm going to associate it to the opinion regarding the color, for example. Now this is associated. Now that we inserted our test plan, I'm going to show you how it looks like on the summary report. This is my summary report. As I said before, you have to see it as a book. At first, you have the first big part, which is introduction. You will see all the different information about Testapic, about the different methodology of the test, and you will be able to insert some screen of the interface that you was testing. Here you can see our first part that we've created just before the home page. I can click here to play, to start the playback from this slide. So this is my first localization, my first location, as I said, my first chapter, which will be the home page. Then here is my first finding, which is the first impression. As you can see, I can find again my description. So Paul said that this website was colorful. And then here I can see the extracts that I've did concerning Paul. I can play it right here. So it's quite quick because it was a quick extract, but you will be able to see all of your extract here. I can edit the slide if I want to by clicking here. Here am I with my open slide. I can find my location again, my title of the finding, which is the first impression, my description. For example, I can say, seems colorful and, I don't know, classy. I can put some color if I want to. By going here, text color, I'm going to put it in green. I'm going to put it in bold, okay? I can insert image if I want to. I can put a recommendation. For example, let's say that Paul also said that there is a lot of information regarding a step, let's say. And put this in red so that you will be able to see directly that the green is the positive finding and the red is the negative finding. I'm going to put it in bold again. Then I can put some recommendation if I want to. For example, it is recommended. recommendation regarding the problem here. Okay. Here, if I want to, I can select a file. For example, this can be useful when you want to put a screenshot, because let's say that the analysis can be quite long, quite big. So, for example, if you want to keep in mind of your readers on which page you are doing this finding, it can be useful to insert a screenshot of the page. Here I can find again my source, which is my first extract. If I want to, I can go here to choose the sources of the slide. For example, you will have actually a lot of sources, a lot of different extracts, so you will be able to choose which one you want to appear on the slide. Keep in mind that you will be able to display only 4 sources per slide. So it can be, for example, 2 video extracts, 2 charts, or 1 chart, 2 verbatims, and 1 extract video. So here I can, for example, cancel this one as it won't be visible on the slide. I can go here, other sources. You will find here all the different sources that you've been taken. So the charts, the video extracts, and the verbatims. And here, if I want to, I can click here to add it again for it to be visible on the slide. Then I'm going to confirm. Here you can see the valency. The valency will tell if this finding is positive, neutral, or negative. For example, Paul said that the website seems colorful and classy. But Paul also said that there's a lot of information regarding the first step. So this is kind of neutral because there's also some positive and some negative. If it was more positive than negative, I'm going to go with positive valency and then to confirm. Also, in case of a negative one, I can add some severities. There's the minor, the serious, and the critical. A minor severity means that a user faces a situation, but he can really easily overcome it. A serious severity means that the user also faces a situation, but he can overcome it by using an alternative solution. And then a critical severity means that the user is completely blocked by the situation and he can't move forward. I can confirm, then I can save. The goal of all of those severities will be that at the end of the analysis, you will be able to display all of the severities and you will be able to sort your reports by critical problem. So, for example, you will be able to say, okay, for now, I'm going to focus my analysis on the negative part rather than focusing it on the positive part. Here's my new slide with still my extract and my recommendation on the bottom of the page regarding this problem. I can do this in all the slides I've created. You just saw how to analyze a video test. Now I'm going to show you how to analyze a questionnaire or a survey test. In the questionnaire or the surveys, you will have some charts. Let's take this chart, which is called a histogram. You will have some positive values and some negative values that here are displayed in red. How to interpret, how to analyze this. Let's say that all the positive values that are over 50% are considered to be really positive. For example, here it's modern, and here it's classy, it's highly classy, highly valued. Talking about the negative parts, all of the negative parts that are above 10% are considered to be really negative. So for example, here, it is considered to be bland. So we have to put a focus on this one to understand why the people think that this interface is bland. Let's take another example. Here you have a grid. So you have different sentences on the left, and you have the legend here, which is a legend talking about relevance. Okay. That is kind of the same. Here, how to analyze the grid. You will actually add the green parts. So here you can see that you have approximately 96% of positive. So this is quite positive versus 6% of negative. So there's no real issue here about the product picture. Here's the same. You have 96 versus 6%. Here, for example, this is quite interesting actually, because you have 13% of negative. So I think here there's a real issue to see it. And here also, as you have 19% of negative. So those three parts, those three last parts, can be really interesting to seek for the problem that is actually displaying within those three sections. The pie charts, as the histogram and the grid, are quite easy and quick to analyze. As you can see here, you have the grid parts, which represent all the positive finding, and the red and orange part that represent all the negative one. Here you can see that there's 20% of people that didn't understand this interface, for example. So 20% of users that think negative thoughts, that have negative thoughts about this one. So that can be really useful to go and find out and put a focus on those two parts to understand what happened here. Now, let's talk about the opposite grid and the trend between the two extremes. As you can see, there's a green part and a red part, which is quite obvious. The green part represents the good part, and the red part represents the critical part. That means that the more we go from up to down, the more critical it gets. For all the values that are above 1.5, these are considered to be positive, so to be good. For all the values that are between 0 to 1.5, those values are considered to be average. So that means that it can be good to take a look on it. Here you can see that from 0 to 1.5, the values that are close to 1.5 are good, but also improvable. And the more we get to 0, the more we get some irritants and some breaks. So the more we should get focus about those values around 0. And obviously, all the values that are below 0, so from 0 to -3, those are considered to be critical. Now I'm going to show you an example of a summary report that regroups both videos and questionnaire insight. So I'm clicking on summary report here. Here am I in my summary. Again, there is the introduction that we'll skip for this. Here I'm going to start by my first location, which is the product page. I'm running the slide. So here am I, for example, this is a typical example of a slide that you may be showing to your readers. Again, my location, my finding, I have my valency here. So most of the finding actually is quite negative. So I have my description here. Here I can see that the dark color is also mostly considered as an attractive for 12 people over 30. So that's quite a huge number actually. Here on the right side of the screen, of the slide, I can see my sources. Okay, so here I have my histogram. So the histogram you saw just before, which is regarding the design and the graphism insights. Here I have a verbatim of Christelle, for example. So this is the commentary that explaining why for her the dark color is considered to be an attractive. And here I have a video extract of Cynthia, for example. Let's say now that finally I don't want this verbatim or this extract. I can go here to edit my slide. It will open all of my slides. I'm going here, choose the sources to appear on the slide. Those are the three sources that you're seeing here in the background, okay? This kind of icon represents the chart that you see here. This represents the verbatim that is under this pop-up, and this represents the video extract. So here, for example, as I said before, you can display up to 4 sources per slide. So here am I with 3 sources. I'm going to add another one. For example, I can add here a video extract or a verbatim, let's say. I can scroll. So this is all the sources that I've gathered during my analysis. For example, I'm going to take this verbatim. I'm going again on the sources visible on the slide. Here's my verbatim, for example. I want it to be displayed as the first sources. So I'm just going to click on this arrow so that it will going up like this. Then I'm validating. I'm saving my slide again because you will lose everything also. And here I am with my verbatim. So you can just manage your different sources. For example, you can put, as I said, 2 charts, 2 verbatims, or 4 verbatims, for example, as you can see between the different slides. For example, here I chose to just have extract, video extract. Okay, so I have 4 of them. So here, as you can see on this slide is considered to be negative. Okay, why? Because we saw that there's a special section on the page that isn't visible for most of the users. Okay, so here I have my problem. Here I have my recommendation. So you will be able to write on some recommendation, some insights to improve actually this problem and to give a solution actually to this problem. So here the section isn't visible. My recommendation is to maintain consistency in the display of information, to privilege all the good, the prioritized information so that the users will be able to see this section. So on each problem, you will be able to do that. You will be able to write your problem and then write the recommendation, and even to add a screen here if you want your readers to know in what part of the website you're talking about. Here's the same. There's some problem to understand. There's some problem of a label explaining a stepper, for example. Here I'm putting my recommendation. And also, if I want, I can put 2 images to show a given solution. A good information to know is that you can display your summary report in the form of an array by going here on the Findings and Recommendation tabs. Here, as you can see, you can find again the distribution of the finding in terms of valences. So you can see the amount of positive, of neutral, or of negative findings. You can see it here distributed by a location, so product page, tunnel, general feedbacks. And here you can see displayed in an array form all of the slides that you had just before on your summary report here. The only difference is that here it is displayed as an array, as a list. You will be able to see again your title, so your finding title, your location, so the chapter, the devices, the valency, the severity in case of a negative valency, and the different occurrences, which represent actually the number of sources that you associated into this finding. Here you can also see the description of the finding that you did. Here you can delete it, edit it. You can go to another page that will display all of the sources. Or if you want, you can just view the slide. This will help you to go directly to the summary report. So here, a good tips here to sort actually the different findings that you've done is by clicking, for example, here on valency. It will help you to sort. For example, here, I've sorted it to display at first all the positive finding. But if I want to, I can click again, and here it will display at first all of the negative finding. I can also do the same with the severity. I can also do the same with the location or with the title, for example. So here, in terms of analysis, I can say, okay, I know that I have, let's say, 45 to 46% of negative findings. I want at first to start my analysis with those findings. So I'm going here, I'm sorting my array by negative feedback first. And then here I can go one by one to understand what happened actually and to put some recommendation. And then after that, I can just go back here, so to cancel my sorting and then continue my analysis.